You're welcome back to Breakfast Central. We now shift our focus to Anambra State, where political temperatures are rising ahead of the November 8th gubernatorial elections. The stakes are high, the rhetoric is sharp, and the battle lines are drawn.
Absolutely. From defections to fiery campaign trails, Anambra is shaping up to be more than just a contest. It's a referendum on governance, loyalty, and the future of the Southeast. Joining us for today's discussion is the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, the party that has held sway in Anambra since 2006. Our guest today is Mazi Ejimofor Opara. Good morning, Mazi. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right. APGA has dominated the scene in Anambra State for nearly 2 decades, but we've seen a lot of defections in the most recent times, from APGA to APC. Recently, 4 sitting lawmakers moved from APGA to APC, and some would argue that it's not just political movement, that it might lead to an erosion of the party. Would you say that APGA still has a firm grip on Anambra's political soul?
Okay, good morning. That's a misinformation. 4 legislators or lawmakers did not move from APGA to the APC. What you had, it's a normal occurrence that has been more or less like a part of the political season where people move about. But basically, the actual report is that 2 lawmakers from Labour Party, 1 from the YPP and 1 from APGA. So the story is not about 4 APGA House members now. It's just 1, and then 2 Labour Party lawmakers and 1 YPP lawmaker. But this is not, we saw more than this in 2021, the build up to 2021 election, and it's what it is. The season is here upon us again, where people go about trading their interest for maybe pecuniary reasons, but that does not in any way show any form of grip or any form of hold by the opposition parties in the coming election. It's just the way they intend to, maybe it's a morale boosting exercise for them that they have gone ahead and pushed, or maybe let me use the right terminology, bought, a few members of the House, some of whom, in all honesty, do not have any tangible or substantial electoral value. They're just there. Some of them are in their terminal year. Like the guy from the YPP, he comes from an area where representation is rotated across the major components or major towns of the local government. So for him, he has not done in the fact. So whatever it is that is thrown at him, well, he jumps on it. And the one from the Labour Party, well, maybe they are running from the sinking ship that Labour Party has become in Anambra State. And the one from APGA, same, but in every 12 there must be a Judas. So we're not surprised. But the beauty of all this is that they bear no significant impact on the strength or the morale, or if you like, the result that we anticipate. In this election, we are looking beyond local governments. Actually, our target is to win the 5,720 polling units. That's the target. Yeah, and we believe strongly that with our massive support base, it's going to be a landslide, not just victory, but let me use the word decimation of the opposition in Anambra State. And these things are, like you have rightly mentioned, founded on the fact that APGA is not just a political party for the name, just a political party, every other political party. APGA is a movement. APGA is a people's movement. And it's a movement that is founded on utmost good faith. Faith in the fact that the people have, in the last 22 years or so, witnessed some profound developmental strides from the party. And it has been on a steady ascendancy. Now, the current administration of Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo has taken it notches higher in every ramification of, development that you can think of, from education to health to infrastructure to economy to security, and in every dimension, it has been a litany of achievements, for the people, and these things are feelable. I will tell you, if you want to understand what's happening in Anambra currently, you would have to put them in 2 buckets: the essential tangibles and the essential intangibles. The government has been able to essentially, in the intangible, what you may call the intangible term, be able to initiate a social re-engineering never before seen in the state. a situation where the government has, through the instrumentality of the law, been able to bring about order, from the chaotic social malady that was plaguing, our people. A situation where young people no longer reckoned with hard work, where they felt there was, some sharp practice that one must do to be able to make money. You talk about what has now become popularly known as the Oso Soludo, where there has been a law, the Anambra State Homeland Security Law, that has put in check the activities of nefarious, witch or native doctors who go about, deceiving our young people, telling them how you can make money through charms and concoctions and all what have you. But today, we have put that in check, and there is a new social reawakening that the young people are going back to hard work, going back to legitimate means of livelihood. This like I captioned it, is an essential, intangible, and has put society on a pathway to sustainable progress and development.
Mazi, you just to interrupt, you speak about a decimation of the opposition party. By decimation of the opposition party, which party are you referring to here?
All of them put in one box.
Okay, so by all of them, I would assume that you mean including
the YPP.
I would assume that you mean including the APC, right?
Absolutely.
But does it matter that Governor Soludo had declared his support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Well, let me put this in context. When it has to do with localized elections that border around Anambra and the core Anambra elections, be it the state assembly, national assembly, and the governorship seat, you leave it for APGA. Anambra is APGA land. It's everyone. It has become a national understanding that Anambra is APGA land, and we don't shy away from saying this. We own this place, So when we talk about the broader spectrum of the Nigerian politics, we have come to understand that parties align along their ideological orientation, and much of what you call alliance with the national is born out of our realization and acceptance that in most dimensions of development and policy, we align with the progress and the developmental strides of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has proven to be a progressive in every ramification. So when we say progressives are working together, we understand that even within the progressives, there are some unprogressive elements. And when you come to the Anambra APC, you find much of them, who hop around, going from party to party, who see political parties are just mere special purpose vehicles, just for convenience. They believe in nothing. They only believe in their own ambition. Those people, we don't categorize them as progressives. Progressives are people who believe in the principles of progressivism. And when you talk about the principles of progressivism, you're talking about a political ideology that puts the people first in everything that they do. And that is what we do in APGA, and that's what we represent in APGA. If you look at much of the policies of the federal government under the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration and what Governor Soludo is doing, they align on so many fronts. We talk about sustainable neo-welfareism, a situation where we don't just empower people with handouts, but we empower them sustainably to be able to fend for themselves, more or less like not giving them fish, but teaching them how to fish. So you look at what we have here in the One Youth Two Skill initiative, where the current administration of Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo has trained and empowered over 5,000 young persons, with various skills in various skill areas. And in the next few days, another set of 8,300 of these young persons will be graduating. You're talking about a situation where the Solution Innovation District has...
sorry to interrupt you.
To empower young people with
Mazi Opara.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you. We would like to bring in our second guest into the discussion at this point in time. Dr. Onyeka Nwafor used to be the gubernatorial candidate for Anambra APC. A warm welcome to you, Dr. Nwafor.
Let me correct it. Governorship aspirant, not candidate. The candidate is Prince Nicholas Okachukwu.
Okay, aspirant. Thank you so much for joining us. What's your assessment of the APGA administration of Governor Chukwuma Soludo in the last 4 years? Do you think he's done enough to deserve a re-election in November?
About the Governor Chukwuma Soludo's stay in office, it is so clear that he doesn't deserve to continue. This is not about APC, this is not about PDP, this is not about Labour Party. This is about what Anambra has gone through. Starting from the day he took over office as the governor of Anambra State, he came with so many promises: Anambra, Dubai, Taiwan, how he's going to regionalize the state. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of atrocities has been committed, starting from the issues of kidnapping. At least I could remember last year, Anambra ranked the first of ransom paid. You say these things are very clear for us to see. Say, another thing, the question I keep on asking, how much has Governor Chukwuma Soludo collected from the federal government since President Bola Tinubu came in power? And what is the measurement? How do you measure those money to the work that is on ground? See, this is not about the election now. This is about his performance. You know, he can't stand up and tell me that he's doing road, he has done this, has done the other one, when the life of the people is still at stake. As I'm talking to you
what
today,
about the Dubai, Taiwan?
Still being kidnapped?
What about the Dubai, Taiwan mantra of the administration, saying, you know, that the development, the level of development is comparable to what's obtainable in other climes? Do you think that's more of a hype than reality?
That is not even, it can't even be reality. That is, as well as sometimes it's phantom. You know, he said all those things to cajole the people to vote for APGA. So that is even what it is. At the time he did it, how can you turn a state to Dubai, Taiwan when there is no security? Dubai, Taiwan when there is no foundation? You see, so you will definitely know that this is not going to work. But in order to get the people to vote, so he has to play the game. His government, at this point in time, can't claim that he has done so much. No. His government has not attended to the needs of common Anambra people.
When you say the government, you're referring to the APGA government, right?
The APGA government, Professor Chukwuma Soludo's government.
All right,
that's what I'm referring to.
Let's have a right of response from Ms. Mazi Ejimofor Opara, who is, in this case, representing APGA. Do you agree with him that Governor Soludo hasn't really delivered on his mandates to the Anambra?
With a non-issue, well, these are mere rhetoric of the opposition who are battling for relevance, because it's a very simple question to the gentleman you mentioned as the aspirant. Well, I wouldn't know when and how he aspired. But the fundamental thing that you should ask him, is it in doubt that Anambra has become one single construction site? Is it in doubt that Okpoko has been regenerated from a hitherto urban slum to now what they now call Okpoko New Heaven? Is it in doubt that Ochanja, that used to be a refuse dump, has today become a water fountain where people move around and freely? Is it in doubt that over 900 kilometers of road has been awarded, over 600 kilometers commission? Is it in doubt that over 174 kilometers of what you call federal road are currently being dualized by the Soludo administration? Is it in doubt that Governor Soludo has employed, in the first 5 months of this administration, 5,000 teachers, and in the first 9 months, 8,115 teachers? Is it in doubt that today in Anambra State, Anambra that had no befitting government house and governor's lodge today now has a befitting government house and governor's lodge, sitting on over 28 hectares of land with about 57 structures sprawling and very beautiful scenery? Is it in doubt that Oka, that used to be hitherto defined as a glorified village, is now wearing a very wonderful urban look? Is it in doubt that Ekulobia, a hitherto semi-urban location, is now regenerated and wearing a perfect urban look? When people come up to talk about insecurity, especially those in opposition, what comes to my head is orchestration, because some of these guys, it now looks like they come and they are part of those who orchestrate some of these pockets of, breaches, security breaches, so as to have impetus or have something to campaign with. It is not in doubt that when Obasanjo came into office in 2022, 8 local governments were under siege by non-state actors, some of whom this gentleman here may have supported as freedom fighters or agitators. Now, we decided that we were not going to negotiate with people who have, caused mayhem and violence on our people. And what happened? In less than first 5 months of this administration, we were able to tackle this, this malaise of insecurity around the 8 local governments that I talk about, and rescue these 8 local governments. Before, ask the gentleman in the studio, in 2021, were they able to campaign in parts of Ihiala? Were they able to campaign in Obaru? Were they able to campaign in some parts of Agwata and Orumba? People sit here and it's convenient for them to just say a thing. In the last just concluded by-election on August 16, go and read the INEC report on that election. That elections held in the 118 wards that make up the Anambra South Senatorial Zone, including what used to be the hotbed, Ihiala, and co. And someone is sitting in your studio telling that Governor Soludo is all rhetoric and is all this, and you ask him, does he live in that same city? Someone mentioned in your studio the last time that imagine if Charlie Kirk was from Anambra State and he was assassinated in the dimension or in the way he was assassinated. What would be the position of the opposition? What would they say about Anambra? But who has come out to say America is unsafe or America is a chaotic bunch or whatever? Let me help the gentleman in the studio. He doesn't understand the African Dubai, Taiwan, Silicon Valley metaphor of Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo. Maybe I would have to explain it to him. For every development, the developments are benchmarked against, against certain what you may call models. So if you want to, even in humans, we have those we call role models. You want to be like a thing. You want to go to somewhere. This is exactly how I want my house to look. And you ask yourself, why do we say Dubai? Dubai has become more or less like the tourism and logistic hub of the world, where people go about it, they do businesses and all that. We'll talk about Taiwan. Taiwan is renowned for its human capital development. And how does that relate to what Governor Soludo is doing in Anambra State? When you look at the 1U2 scale, look at the SID, Social Innovation District, where young people, over 70,000 young persons have been empowered with different tech skills. How does it differ with the fact that there's a conscious investment in the education of our young people, where the governor has declared totally free education, which I know some kid and kin of the gentleman in the studio are enjoying today? We're talking about human capital development, we're talking about access to qualitative health care, that today in Anambra State, pregnant women attend free antenatal and delivery, including cesarean session, and by the last check, over 150,000 women have benefited.
Just to mention, since you're talking about Mazi, since you're talking about healthcare, I want to quote something that the APC gubernatorial candidate had said. He said regarding the hospitals, he said, at the moment, our hospitals in the state are glorified mortuaries. Then he goes on to say, I am worth billions and can't owe billions as talkatives are wagging their tongues. Academic certificates do not make people what they think they are. So I wanted you to, expand further on the state of healthcare, seeing as you've talked about maternal healthcare. What's the general state of healthcare in Anambra State?
Well, I think that the Bill Gates Foundation, the Dangote Foundation, and the Young Governors Forum were not fooled, or they were not just speaking to rhetoric, if I may use their word, when they recognized that Anambra is the regional and national champion in healthcare development. Anambra won an award just last year as the regional champion, where we got $500,000 as prize money, and the national champion, where we won $700,000, totaling $1.2 million, as regional and national champions in healthcare development. This was not by some spurious or pay-as-you-go agency, data agencies that the type they are quoting, the Philips Consultants of this world, who come up to, with some bogus data that are non-representative and maybe orchestrated by the opposition just to, smear the work of the good works that is evidenced and very much tangible to people in Anambra State. So I'm just giving you one. So if probably Anambra, the healthcare system in Anambra is almost like mortuary, like the F9 candidate of the APC has alleged, then he should then there is something fundamentally wrong with what Bill Gates and Dangote Foundation and even the Nigerian Governors Forum has said about Anambra State healthcare development and healthcare system. So when he talks about F9, makes allusion to his what many have come to realize as forged certificate. Anambra has gone far beyond the candidacy of Anukachukwu. This is not pride. It is who we are. This is Anambra State of Chinua Achebe. This is Anambra State of Alex Ekwueme. Anambra State of Ojukwus. This is Anambra State of Zik of Africa. That in the over 50, 60 years ago, some of the leaders had bagged very reputable degrees, had become global leaders, top leaders. And 50 years after and more, we're talking about having a leader who could not pass English language or pass mathematics or even pass economics. We should be serious here. This is not the kind of Anambra that these persons envisaged or they handed over to our people. So for him, he has a whole lot to deal with, including his debt profile and those who are chasing him about the country, and all that. He should go and sort that out. So coming to talk about Anambra, it's beyond him, and this is just the fact. It's far, far beyond him. It's beyond the remit of his understanding. He cannot fathom it. So we don't just speak to bogus data, we speak to tangible evidence. And what you see with Anambra is tangible evidence that is unassailable. So the gentleman in the studio, if he wants, he should go around, even in his kindred. I am sure he cannot boldly go to his kindred and say what he's saying on television here today.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mazi. We will go on a quick break, and I'm sure Dr. Ejimofor has quite a lot to say in response to what you've said and also recent development in Anambra State. But do stay with us. The conversation continues shortly.
Welcome back to the show. We're still looking at the countdown to the gubernatorial elections in November 8th, 2025. And we have two of our gentlemen who are here in the studio with us. We have Mazi Ejimofor Opara here with us. Thank you very much, Mazi. Mazi is representing APGA. And we also have the former Anambra State APC governorship aspirant, Dr. Onyeka Ejimofor. Dr. Ejimofor, a lot has been said by Mazi in sort of defending what Governor Soludo has done in Anambra State. And I believe that you have a right of response to this. And while you're responding to this, does it matter to you that the APGA, of course, that the governor has aligned himself with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Okay, first of all, I heard all he said. All he was busy reading out has the government have already built a government house, so and so forth. My question is the old government house. What is the problem with it? Why are you being a haste to complete a government house that has been there when Anambra is being faced with several problems? This becomes the question. You see, this particular government sometimes wastes Anambra funds, as long as I'm concerned. There are important issues. The APC governorship candidate, Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu, was not wrong when he said that the hospital in Anambra is nothing to write home about. So this young man of APGA that is saying, you are talking on the studio, when Governor Soludo took over, I personally visited hospitals and donated to them children beds because there was none in most of the local governments. In most of the health centers and hospitals, they were bed traps. When newborn babies are given birth to, they are kept like that. Mosquito and all those things will be feasting on the babies. So they say they always want to come up with things to paint it that Governor Chukwuma Soludo has done well. I didn't say that Governor Chukwuma Soludo has not done anything, but you see, it cannot continue because Anambra State needs a dear change. And every time they keep on talking of F9, 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 okay, good. Governor Chukwuma Soludo is a professor, no doubt about it. But let's now bring, since he took over, how many lives has been lost? Let me go back to the issue of Iyala is talking about, saying Iyala today is a movable area and so on and so forth. He's lying. This is a complete big lie. Even Orumba South local government today, some of the towns in that place is under siege. So why are we acting as if there is nothing? When people have been killed, kidnapped, even in what's Oka, I think the other one that happened was in Oka. Is this place not Anambra State? Why are they trying to shy away? For the relationship with the president, we are not bothered. The president is the father of everybody. in this nation. So anybody can decide to support our leader, our father. But you can't take away his children from him. So we are not bothered if he's supporting the president. We need the president to come back. So we even encourage everybody to support the president to come back. So this is it.
So how would you describe the political atmosphere in Anambra as we inch closer to the November elections? The quality of conversation, the debates, the campaigns, how do you see it panning out? Do you think the APC will stop the domination of APGA in Anambra State from what you've seen so far and from the feelers you're getting from Anambrarians?
Let me tell you when you talk of domination. Let me explain it to you. Let me use Lagos State as an example. Go to Lagos State. When elections are conducted, check the number of members of APC that contested that election and won. Check from House of Assembly, check from House of Rep, check from the Senate. You cannot say APGA is dominated in Anambra when APGA, how many senators does APGA
but the
have?
government house is the #1 political position in Anambra State. And they've been at the helm since 2006. So that's domination.
APGA is not being feared by anybody, not even APC. I can tell you that. Take this from me. APGA is not feared by APC, not even the YPP. Take this from me. By November 8th, Professor Chukwuma Soludo will be defeated. It will be like magic. The people will vote massively to vote him out of office. Nobody is scared about anything. That's just the simple truth. This is not about talks on the media. This is about the real vote on the day of the election.
Okay, let's bring back Mazi into the conversation. What would you say APGA has put in place to ensure its return on the 8th of November? Also, I wanted to ask, do you trust INEC? How are your feelings towards INEC's ability to be able to successfully discharge its duties?
Okay. Your questions are double-barreled, but let me start from the last one that you asked, if I trust INEC. And, well, it's a work in progress. The August 16 election has also shown that we have implicit confidence in the electoral process and what INEC is doing to improve the process. Their candidate, as Evangelist Nicholas Okachukwu, declared that election as a do-or-die affair. And of course, I'm sure he is yet to wake up from the shock of that election because he was won and even won in his own polling unit. So when somebody is telling you that Governor Soludo will be defeated come November 8, the question you ask him is how? As long as this election would be about the votes, that the people will go about and vote, and therefore their votes will be counted and declared as voted. Forget it, it's an APGA thing. The converse is where they have their own forte, the converse. And by the converse, I mean, they want to write the results. They want to, just like we saw on August 16, where the candidate of the APC hijacked electoral materials and kidnapped INEC officials into his residence, in a bid to write the election in his own house and smuggle the result into the collation center. And the people resisted him. The people, they saw the resistance of the people first, and the only thing I would tell them is that nobody should joke with the result of Anambra. When it has to do with what Anambra, what they want and what they have seen with regards to the development and progress in the state, it has become, for them, it is a sentimental attachment to APGA because they have seen very progressive change. They have seen development at its truest and purest form. This is a party that has taking Anambra from the low and to the height it is going in the community of subnationals today, not just in terms of the quality of development and output, but in terms of the quality of individuals that it has been presenting over the time. Check the records. Let's talk about the first APGA governor, Governor Peter Obi, BSc philosophy, and to his commendation, some modest achievements. You talk about, Governor Willie Obiano, BSc accounting, PhD and all that. Unilag, and you look at his modest achievement from the airport to the International Convention Center to various bridges and roads that he also did. Now it has come up to a Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, who has taken all these things notches higher. Are these the quality of persons that Anambra have seen, and they want to go back to someone who couldn't even attempt a pass in mathematics or English or economics? Please, Anambra are very sophisticated. Anambra has parades the most sophisticated electorates you can think of, in the country, and they know where the state is, and they know where they want to take the state to. We're talking about he's talking about the health system and being this. This is a government that has employed over 1,500 health officials and deployed to various PHCs and various tertiary healthcare centers. So is that in doubt? He should have reeled out some very verifiable achievements of this government. Has it been able to discountenance or be able to disprove any of the things I have said? And I'm happy he even had the courage to say that he is not saying Governor Soludo is not trying, has not done anything. I'm happy he said that, and thank you, my gentleman on the other side of the block, that for recognizing that at least that a Soludo has done something that is worthy of your commendation. And if you must be truthful to yourself, ask yourself, the place you call the government house, or that used to be the government house before now, for 34 years, it used to be the construction yard of the company that built the Enugu-Onitsha Express Road. A construction yard. If you go there, you see makeshift structures. Some made of wood, some of container. You know how a construction yard looks. This has been the government house for Anambra in the past 34 years until today. That Governor Soludo has broken the jinx by building what has been described as a mini city. He should be proud of that, and he should be proud that today, if the world assembles in Anambra, they will go into a befitting structure that is deserving of an A-state like Anambra. So, if the elections are called today, trust me, I am not mincing words when I tell you that APGA would have the day, and the target is not. In the past, we've had 20/21. Maybe now we're looking at 326/326, or if we push harder, we'll have 5,720 or 5,720. He knows this for a fact. The gentleman in the studio there will vote for APGA. He knows that for a fact.
Well, I don't know which gentleman in the studio they are speaking about. If it's my colleague here,
He's definitely not. He assumes that Dr.
I mean the aspirant.
Okay, the former aspirant, Dr. Ejimofor. Well, Dr. Ejimofor has pledged his loyalty to the All Progressives Congress. At the end of the day, Anambra will decide on the 8th of November who is deserving of their votes, and beyond slogans and historical fame of certain parties or not, of the APGA or maybe the influence of the APC, what Nigerians want to see is a party that would make promises and deliver on the mandate that it has promised the people. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us this morning on Breakfast Central.
Thank you.